The excitement level is at an all-time high, and it should be on 10 right now because the Knicks fans deserve it. The way the team has played, they deserve this moment. The way the coaching staff has come through, they deserve this moment. The front office deserves this moment. They all do. And, I think a little bit back to how we got here with the Knicks, right? And a team that was 19-18 at the All-Star break. Like, we think about it now that the Knicks were very obviously a playoff team with how well they've been, the commitment to defense all season long and all that. But the second half of the schedule, remember, it looked like an absolute beast. And March was very rocky for the Knicks. Derrick Rose got COVID. At one point, they dropped to 25-27 just as the calendar's turning to April. And like so many years before, in these last 8, you're looking for the nosedive, right? You're looking for the nosedive just straight into the lottery. And it's like, man, they just couldn't survive this for a whole season long. But what happens? They flip the script. They rattle off 9 wins in a row from April 9th to April 24th. They become one of the hottest teams in the NBA, then finish it off by going 6-3 in May, including winning those last 3 games that kept the dream alive for the 4 seed. It all falls into place, and now the Knicks are going to have 15,000 screaming fans in the Garden on Sunday night. It's just amazing. Knicks fans deserve this a million different ways. You survived 8 years in the desert, and now here's the Knicks in the playoffs with just the whole bright future ahead of them. It's awesome.
Well, I can't wait. I mean, honestly, I can't wait till Sunday night when you're going to get Spiro and Greg Anthony on the call on TNT. Game's going to be on MSG as well. So get me to the Garden, seeing that atmosphere. I'm not going to be there physically, but I'm going to be watching the game at home. 15,000. I can't wait if I could jet ahead to Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Spring basketball at Madison Square Garden, playoff basketball at Madison Square Garden with 13 to 15,000 in attendance. It's going to be absolutely a remarkable scene. And yeah, you've gone through, everything the Knicks fan has gone through, beating the care out of you, or at least trying to. All the bad hirings, all the bad trades, all the bad signings. The Knicks couldn't get out of their own way, being made fun of on Disney movies. I mean, everything that has transpired over the last 8 years, it's been a tough road. But if you're a true blue Knicks fan, you stay the course, right? And that is where you get the reward now. You get the reward now of a team that you've fallen in love with. I have. I mean, I don't think there's a Knicks fan that I've spoken to that has not fallen in love with this team, with what Thibodeau is. Great hire, right hire at the time. The fact that Julius Randle has established himself as a star. The fact that Derrick Rose, a guy given up for dead in Detroit, wanted to come back, be reunited with Tom Thibodeau, wanted to come to the Knicks, gets traded to the Knicks, what he has provided. Everyone's celebrating Obi Toppin draft night. It ends up being the other star. Emmanuel quickly ends up being the guy, the 25th overall pick, ends up being the guy that Knicks fans fall in love with as a rookie, as Obi Toppin really struggled in his rookie year. Even with all the deficiencies and the lack of talent, the fact that he had a coach that emphasized W's, and here we are. Here we are. I mean, here we are. We're 2 days away, a little bit more, from seeing a playoff game at Madison Square Garden for a team that you love, for a team that you embrace their style, a team in which their style kind of embraces New York City. They're tough, they're nasty, they're physical, they defend. It's not a matter of doing it with smoke and mirrors and just shooting threes and running up and down the court. It's a team that you can really, really connect with, and you connect with each and every one of those guys because a lot of them were given up for dead. I mean, Alec Burks, Bullock. I mean, you look at it, R.J. Barrett, 2-player draft. The Knicks had the 3rd overall pick. What R.J. Barrett has been this second year, Julius Randle, an afterthought. And to have this collection, this group come together, they're not a superiorly talented group. Don't let anybody tell you that they are, because they're not. Look at what this coaching staff has done, but look at how these players evolved with the coaching, with the minutes, with the playing time this year, going against the grain of what has been the trend in the National Basketball Association, and it's been a blast because it feels like it's the Knicks against everybody else. Even when, Thibodeau was hired and the criticism about, what he had done in the past. Well, you know what? Right now, that doesn't matter because right now he's done an unbelievable job. He's one of the finalists to be the coach of the year,
yep.
As we saw that get announced yesterday. So all of the accolades that have come this Knicks team's way, especially in the second half when we all looked at the schedule and said that it's a lot more difficult. Let's see where this team is at the end. Well, you know what? They thrived during it, and they got better as a group during it. And they earned that 4 seed. Got a little bit of help final weekend. We know that. Had to win 3 straight games at home. And now get the opponent that everybody wanted the Knicks to see in that opening round, which was the Atlanta Hawks. And that series gets going on Sunday night. I can't wait, Maggie. I really can't. I'm so excited to see what this gets, what it looks like at Madison Square Garden. The touch, the feel, seeing playoff spring basketball at MSG. It's going to be really sweet.
Well, and you're already in the head of your opponent. I mean, Nate McMillan trying to work the referees already got fined $25,000 because he said he believes that the NBA, wants to see the Knicks advance to the next round.
Smart.
All right, you can say that's the gamesmanship, and that is smart. Maybe you'll, get into the referees' heads. But to me, Moose, that could also look like you already got excuses. You're already making excuses for your team for why they're not going to win this series. Sure, you're trying to work the refs a little bit, but I see this as excuse making too. The Atlanta Hawks feel like that. I think they feel, even though these teams are very, very evenly matched, despite the fact the Knicks beat them and swept them in the season series, they are very evenly matched. I mean, in everything down from the lack of playoff experience for the star players, the fact that, this is a team, basically, they have this exact same record, very similar point differential. I mean, they're just very similar in a lot of ways. But I think that the Hawks feel like they are the decided underdog here. And I don't know if they necessarily deserve to be. This is so evenly matched, but I think they're taking that mentality, and the Knicks are going to have to take on, I think, that we should be winning this series mentality. I mean, the Knicks are 25-11 at Madison Square Garden. You get blessed with the home court advantage for this series. You have to make it work for you.
Yeah.
And listen, I think that the Knicks are going to thrive on the home crowd, definitely. We've seen before, even when they've gone to Atlanta in years past in playoff series, it's basically been a Knicks home crowd. But this is going to be really big for them. To step up here, especially in this first game in terms of a tone setter. It's obviously not a must-win. There's nothing like that in the first game of the playoffs in a 7-game series. But because you have these home and road splits for the Knicks that are so drastic, 25-11 at home, 16-20 on the road. And you'd expect that for a youngish team that's still trying to find themselves, right? Like, no playoff experience. A lot of these guys haven't been in, really big games, ones that are really pressure-packed. And they're about to be in a lot of them. So this is exciting. I've got a million questions about how this series is going to go down, what the sort of chess match is going to be like, how Thibodeau is going to come out firing here. And there's just a lot of, there's a lot on the shoulders of two guys. It's Thibodeau and it's Randall. It's been the two guys who have orchestrated this comeback for the Knicks as a franchise, those two. And now it's going to be on them. And they're both going to be seeing, just not that Thibodeau, he's got a lot of playoff experience, but Randall's going to see something that he has not seen yet to this point, which is going to be an opponent for as many games as this is going to go. He's going to be the focal point. Shutting Randall down, they probably feel like they can shut the Knicks down. And for Thibodeau, it's about maximizing this lineup and adjusting back to the adjustments that Atlanta's going to make. And so it's fantastic. I'm curious how the Knicks fans are feeling right now. I know Moose is fired up. Moose has been fired up since April.
Yeah, I have been. You're right. I can't. I'm looking forward to it. I like the fact that I was a little nervous it was going to be an afternoon game. When it got named a night game, it kind of works because I have to take Paul to a kid's party on Sunday afternoon.
This is a personal thing. This isn't like Knicks.
This is nothing. This
is purely.
This is purely me being selfish. I understand that, but it was
just coming up elusive.
It works a lot better in my schedule that it's a night game at 7:00 Sunday night than it was during the course of the afternoon, because then it would have been very tricky and I would have had to ask my wife to maybe take Paul to the party, but we'll see. I mean, it's all good.
Avoided that conversation. Nice job.
Yeah, exactly right. Right, exactly. That's the last thing I wanted. That's a minefield.
Because then you got to give something on the other side.
Maggie, I give all the time. I'm a man that gives all the time, right? So I was
Santa Claus Malusis.
So it worked out. Me completely selfishly, it worked out the fact that it's Sunday night. I can't wait. I really can. I'm excited. I think it was smart by McMillan, just to touch upon that quick, to kind of, you've seen it before, whether it be Popovich, whether it be Pat Riley, whether it be Jeff Van Gundy, whether it be Phil Jackson. Usually you see it within a series, like a game happens and then you see the other team stars getting the benefit. You call out the officiating, and then you get the trend going in the opposite direction. It's classic in the NBA, so it's not all that surprising by Nate McMillan and the Atlanta Hawks to kind of fire that that first salvo because everybody, I mean, when you have LeBron James on social media tweeting out the fact that the NBA is better when the Knicks are good and the Knicks are relevant and, you know, it's all good for the association, well, you're going to get that from the Atlanta Hawks head coach. So I thought from him that was a smart first salvo to fire across the board as this series gets going Sunday night. Yeah, Maggie,
just one thing to add to that, too. Yeah. I mean, the way that Trae Young plays,
he begs for calls.
It is very predicated on what kind of calls he's getting that night. So, the fact that he, I believe, has been fouled the most on three-point shots, second most of any player in the NBA, that's his thing. He's going to try to bait you into fouling him, so kind of adds it on top of what McMillan was doing there. But he got fined $25,000. I don't know. I think it's excuses. To me, it's like, yeah, maybe you're playing the mind games a little bit. You're also giving your team and saying nobody wants us here, you know?
Yeah, well, they could also use that as it's us against the world. Everyone wants the Knicks to win. Let's go out there and tick everybody off and go beat the Knicks in the opening round, and let's move on to the second round. So, but get me to Sunday night. Can't wait. It's been 8 years. It's been 8 long years. I'm kind of just enjoying the build-up to what we're going to get on Sunday. It's been, watching these playing games where the Knicks are not a part of it has been fantastic, and you're seeing other teams battle it out just to get into the playoffs, knowing that, Tibbs, Randall, and company are waiting there on Sunday night. Going to be an absolute blast. But
did you know this? Yeah. Did you know that they are not counting any stats that you get in the play-in games towards your playoff numbers? Apparently, it's like
I did. Now that you mention it, I think I did read
That's
that.
That's ridiculous. Yes. So you're telling me that Jason Tatum, who scored 50 points, and now the Celtics are going to play the Nets, that wasn't 50 points in a playoff game? It totally was a playoff game.
No doubt that's a playoff game.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought that's insane.